For like my baby, I used zinc oxide from day one. Don't let the diaper be too wet. Avoid tight diapers. If the child is suffering from the diaper rash, give them like short periods of diaper free time. Airing out the area helps healing the skin barrier.
What other things can we do to help with babies and toddlers who have eczema?
Like a handful of proper real foods that we eat from our kitchen in the bath, and I would see a very huge impact in all the redness going away.
If you know your child has Cradle cap, take a soft baby brush off the loose scales which are present on the scalp. Coconut oil massage before bathing the child is a good idea.
What are the best oils to use for our kids?
Lightweight oil works better than a heavier oil. During the winter months, mustard works really well.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Modern Indian Parent Podcast. I am Rinie Gupta. I'm a pediatric sleep consultant.
And I'm Sanchita Daswani, a pediatric nutritionist, and we release new episodes every Friday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So subscribe or follow us for the latest updates.
Today's episode is all about baby skincare remedies to tackle the most common baby skincare issues that parents are struggling with. We'll talk about the best daily skincare routines that you can have for your baby to give them a very healthy skin.
To offer the best and most reliable possible advice on this topic, we have invited two guests. Firstly, we have Dr. Jaya Pathak, who is an MD dermatologist, the director of Potenza Wellness, and specialist in pediatric skincare. We also have with us Arshiya Singh, who is the brand solutions manager at Aveeno Baby.
This episode is brought to you in conjunction with Aveeno Baby India as a part of their awareness initiative to educate new parents about baby skincare.
So the first topics we want to cover is regarding newborn skin concerns. And one of the major ones are diaper rashes. I remember for my twins, when they were babies, I would see that redness in the diaper area and it was so painful for them, even if I touched it. And then I get 100 opinions of what to do and what not to do. So Dr. Jaya, let's get some more information from you. First of all, what even causes a diaper rash?
So like you said, diaper rash is actually one of the commonest skin irritations that infants and toddlers equally suffer from. And it's nothing but red inflamed area of the diaper area. And the commonest causes for the diaper rash is a wet and tight diaper. So wet because prolonged exposure, especially to toxins from the urine, the stool, can, disrupt the skin barrier, causing irritation. Tight diapers, the friction, the tapping between the thighs, that further aggravates the condition. So these are the two commonest conditions. Then you have things like irritants. So when you're cleaning the area using harsh detergents or things that they are sensitive or allergic to, again, aggravates the condition. Even diet, right? Because especially when we are changing and starting their soft diet, the stool pH changes and sometimes that might be harsh for their skin to tolerate, causing a rash. If the child has been on antibiotics, again, your natural bacterial flora, fauna, all of that changes, again, changing pH, causing further irritation. So these are the commonest causes of diaper rash.
A lot of them you said we can avoid. Some of them, obviously, when we start solids, there's certain things we can't control. Are there certain things we can do to prevent a diaper rash?
So yeah, diaper rash is actually very avoidable. And so one of the first things to do are frequent diaper changes. So don't let the diaper be too wet. Or, if the child has passed stool, don't let it lie there for too long. Again, while cleaning, use lukewarm water, be gentle, use gentle wipes, something that is hypoallergenic. Even when it comes to barrier repair creams, it's always good to use a barrier repair cream as a prevention instead of using it just as a treatment. So especially zinc oxide creams, every time you change a diaper, just applying that on the groin area. That is helpful. Avoid tight diapers. If the child is suffering from the diaper rash, give them like short periods of diaper free time. So, just airing out the area helps healing the skin barrier again. So these are just small changes which aren't major, which will actually prevent and also prevent aggravating the condition. Obviously, if it's gotten to a stage where there is oozing, the child is suffering from fever, getting extremely irritable, then you will have to do a medical intervention for it.
What was so important, what you said, is don't wait till it actually happens. There are things that we can do before. I remember waiting till the diaper rash happened and then I said, okay, what can I do? So can you tell us that if there's a baby that already has a diaper rash, then what is the best way to treat it?
So if the baby is already suffering from a diaper rash, then definitely zinc oxide creams, frequent diaper changes, give them the diaper free time. Because if they're suffering from something very severe, which has led to secondary infection where there's oozing, then you'll have to meet the pediatrician or your dermatologist to put them on antibiotics and to heal from those infections. Just using lukewarm water, also using gentle cotton material instead of tight clothing around the diaper, all of that helps. So they do heal on their own if it is moderate.
Is it recommended to powder the rash? Because sometimes they think that maybe you want to dry the rash up. So would you apply powder instead of a cream?
Powder is not something that we've been advocating because it has its own side effect. Usually the zinc oxide creams also keeps the area dry. Airing it out keeps the area dry. If it's hot, it's humid, making sure that you just keep them in a cool, dry area, that helps. So it's not always that you need to apply powder.
And you mentioned the zinc oxide creams, but I know a lot of people mention putting coconut oil or putting Vaseline or petroleum jelly. So from all the creams and oils mentioned, what do you feel is the best for diaper rashes? Can we do the other ones as well or just stick to the zinc oxide?
No, so petroleum jellies, coconut oil help when there is no rash or when it's mild to moderate. So then they do have some benefits because they form a barrier, right? But when there is disruption of barrier, what zinc oxide does, it also soothes the area. So that soothing the area, the baby feels comfortable instead of being irritable all the time. So for like my baby, I used zinc oxide from day one, right? I had a big tub, which is what I would use on him. And so I've never really experienced a diaper rash with my child. So if you do the right things, it's preventable.
In India, unfortunately, there's a lot of hype around diapers and how babies should roam free without diapers. And as you mentioned, tight diapers, not changing them frequently can lead to diaper rash. So how important is it that our kids spend more time diaper free?
So I think during the day, especially when they're at home, you can leave the child diaper free. You don't always have to put them in a diaper, especially after they've pooped, you've cleaned up. You want to just let them, they're happy, they're playing, they're kicking around. Just leave them diaper free. You get those mats on which you can just let them be. And I think you can, like how you do tummy time and take out time for that, you can take out some diaper free time too. So it always helps, especially if your child is atopic, has sensitive skin, and is prone to it. So why not? Some of the old wives' tale do stand true, like they are backed by science.
And the last question I had for you is because you mentioned zinc oxide, obviously for a lot of parents, we think chemicals and we are trying to do a little bit more natural remedies. So it's safe, right, to use zinc oxide from the start?
It is. It's got anti-inflammatory properties. It is soothing. So it is very safe. It is. I've used it for my own child, so I can vouch for it. Again, if you're worried about it, don't use it on an everyday basis. When there is no rash, use your petroleum jelly. Coconut oil, like you asked, has natural antimicrobial properties too. But if you have a child who is prone to eczema, atopic, has a weak skin barrier or sensitive skin, then use the zinc oxide. It's not going to, and it's usually for the first 6 months, then even they become a lot more resilient towards the rash. And you are also more proactive with the diaper and you know exactly how to handle the baby by then. So it's the initial few months.
No, thank you. That really clarifies a lot because there's so many parents out there with like 5 creams and oils and they don't know what to use. So thank you for clarifying.
Dr. The next thing that I would love to discuss with you is Cradle cap. So Cradle cap is something that I have personally seen a lot because my own kid had it. She had her whole hair. She even had Cradle cap around her eyebrows. And I did this really gross, but really like satisfying thing where I used to pick the Cradle cap off in my free time. Because, Cradle cap is just not understood. And I even read places where it's poor hygiene that causes Cradle cap. And then my parents were telling me like, if you don't take it off, she's never going to grow hair again. So you have to remove it. So can you tell us as a doctor, what is causing Cradle cap in newborn babies?
So Cradle cap is what we call as infantile seborrheic dermatitis. And it's a very simple condition actually, which is self-limiting, which means in a few months it treats itself usually, especially if it is mild. And this is because of the overactivity of sebaceous glands. One of the reasons is because during our pregnancy, a lot of the maternal hormones are transferred onto the baby. So till that weans off, and those maternal hormones are the ones that cause the overactivity of the sebaceous glands. and they lead to these greasy, whitish scales on the scalp, the eyebrows, behind the ears, sometimes in skin folds. So it's probably a lot more unsightly. It sometimes leads to a little bit of a hair loss. Or kids with sensitive skin leads to this, again, this natural fungus that we all have, malassezia, which overgrows and again leads to the cradle cap. That being said, picking is a completely bad idea. In fact, discourage it because it can lead to secondary infection because you're causing mild trauma. So there are different ways to go around it, like using a soft baby brush to brush them off and things like that.
Yeah, like there are so many cradle cap kits out there now. I know there is one from this brand where it comes with a certain lotion and a silicone brush and a shampoo and then a hairbrush. So I feel like, are these just commercial gimmicks, or do you think these are actually helpful for parents to use for cradle cap?
So again, it depends on the severity of the cradle cap. But if you know your child has cradle cap, a good practice is to shampoo before bathing the child. Take a soft baby brush off the loose scales which are present on the scalp. Use a mild shampoo regularly so that excessive sebum or the oil on the scalp is reduced or removed completely. Coconut oil massage before bathing the child is a good idea because that just helps loosen up the scales. But again, you have to be a little careful because then you need to shampoo off all the oil because you don't want the excess oil on the scalp because that's what's causing it. Again, don't pick at it. It's unnecessary. If it's severe, then we speak to a pediatrician or a dermatologist to get a little selenium sulfide or ketoconazole mild shampoos so that it helps further give relief. But it's a self-limiting condition. Within the first 3 to 4 months, usually it treats itself.
But my parents' fears, were they true? Like if we did not remove the cradle cap, like the hair would not grow back?
No, I'm sure you're being good hair by now. You
She's got great hair now.
Yeah, so exactly. No, so you want it's still the maternal hormones wean off, and the child is also acclimatizing to the new environment. All of it. So it usually is self-limiting. It treats on its own. In 3 to 4 months, it should go away. If it is severe, then you have us sitting here to help treat it.
Good to know, because I've also read that breastfeeding also contributes to that, because even after pregnancy, we still might be passing on those maternal hormones through their breast milk. And then I think that's something that can make the condition last longer. But it's very assuring to know that we don't need to go out of our way to do anything.
As a nutritionist, I get so many babies at around 6 months where the baby has eczema. Now, my kids never had eczema, but they had very dry skin. And actually, I have eczema, and the only thing that helps me is the Aveeno body wash and lotion because it's very good for my skin, and it's like with a lot of healing ingredients and very natural ingredients as well. But eczema is on the rise for some reason. So, Dr. Jaya, could you explain to us what causes eczema in babies and toddlers?
There are actually, again, multiple factors, the topmost being genetic. So if you have a family history of eczema, allergies, asthma, dry skin, your baby is most likely to suffer the same. Or some kids are just born with sensitive skin. So genetics play a very important role in determining whether your kid is going to be an atopic kid or not and prone to eczema. Secondly is environmental factors. Unfortunately, especially with the pollution out there are different triggers. Winter, dry, low humidity. So especially in the winter, we say put on a humidifier so the baby's skin is hydrated. Again, irritants in the environment, pollen, pet dander. In humid conditions, the sweating, especially in the folds. Again, irritants like laundry detergents. So there are multiple factors that can cause it. Or sometimes some kids are born with an immune system that overreacts to everything. So even things like materials like wool, nylon, synthetics. So the immune system just overreacts to it, causing a rash or eczema. The reason the Aveeno works so well, both the wash and the moisturizer, is because of the oatmeal in it. And that oatmeal plays a key role in hydrating, soothing, calming. So whether your child has dry skin or whether it's inflamed eczematic skin, it has benefits. Oatmeal in itself is beneficial in both cases.
Right. And I see a lot of my clients, the babies eventually do outgrow it, which is nice to see. But during that phase, it's very tough for parents. So I know that there's an internal things we can do, which I'll talk about in a second. But I want to know a little bit more about externally, because I know you mentioned number one is hydration. What other things can we do as parents to help with babies and toddlers who have eczema?
So Hydration is the most important actually with eczema because it is the dryness, it is the lack of skin barrier protection, reduced ceramides. So hydration starts from, say, the first step, which is bathing a child. So again, use lukewarm water, keep the bath shorts for 5 to 10 minutes, use colloidal oatmeal baths to soothe, hydrate the skin, retain moisture, use bath washes like Aveeno, which have oatmeal in them. Immediately post a bath, moisturize, at least within 3 minutes, so that you lock in the moisture. While clothing the child, again, avoid triggers by not using woolen clothing or nylon and other materials. Use nice cotton breathable fabrics. So that plays an important role. Again, if it's a dry, cold environment, make sure that you have the room humidifier on. So small changes will also prevent eczema. So it will not only treat the eczema, but it will also prevent it. And going forward, when you start making it a routine, it becomes a normal thing, a normal regime that they start following. As they grow up, they also grow out of it, or they know how to maintain their skin. They know, okay, this is what we use to bathe, this is what we use to moisturize. So basically, hydration and avoiding triggers is the best way to treat the condition.
So exactly like Dr. Jaya said, I think this has been my entire journey as a mom over the last 4 years. My son is 4 now, and my sister-in-law had very severe eczema growing up as a child up till the age of 10 or 11. And my husband had asthma. So I was aware of this as a mom, and it was there in the back of my mind that yes, there is a chance that my son could get it. And from somewhere I had read that, if you breastfeed your child, that reduces the chances of the eczema getting a little like too bad. So like I tried ensuring the things that I could, but genetically, if your child is prone to get it and they have super sensitive skin, they will probably have some reactions to whatever external allergens are there. And over time, I did start seeing these reactions and I didn't really know what to do about it. So, as every new mom, like you're Googling everything, you read about breast milk baths, that also helps relieve itchiness. You'll see those redness, flare ups, rashes. Then I read about oatmeal baths. So, I used to put this actually like a handful of proper real oats that we eat it from our kitchen in the bath, and I would see a very huge impact in all the redness going away completely after his bath. But of course, once you empty that tub out, then the entire bathroom is a mess. So that's when I actually, as a mom, discovered the Baby range. It was a mom friend of mine that told me, and I used to call for it from outside, from Canada. It's called the eczema therapy range. So every time, someone would be coming, I would get them to get this for me. And that was the one thing and the only thing that really helped him. And like doctor said, I think you find that rhythm of, you understand that the child needs moisturization. And that is, if you stick to that one thing, a gentle cleanser and regular moisturization, you can completely, if not prevent, at least reduce flare-ups in a child that might be prone to reactions or that is sensitive. So then that's when I found out that it's actually sold under the Termexa range in India. And like I've been able to at least source it more easily. But yeah, that was our journey. And through this journey, we also understood, like Sanchita said, that atopic dermatitis has become so common. This was something that I felt wasn't that common. It was quite new to me. But as time has progressed, I've seen actually so many children have it. It might come up in different ways. Someone might have it on their skin. Like doctor said, someone might have it on their elbows. Someone might have it only seasonally. So there's a lot of different variations of it, and there is a lot of different triggers that actually cause this in children. So I think identifying those triggers is very important. And just to add to this, there were a lot of things that I learned as a mom that might be triggers that we don't realize. Of course, like we had to get some allergy tests and all done for my son because so allergic rhinitis and atopic dermatitis kind of go hand in hand. So we would see the same conditions popping up again and again in him. So it was very important to eliminate the triggers as much as we could in our regular day life. And that's when we learned a lot of very interesting things, like, of course, the basic things that you have to keep in mind, like using the right detergents for your child, using the right soaps for your child, keeping cotton fabrics instead of synthetics and dyes. But within our house itself, even something as simple as your sofas or your bed headboards or curtains are just accumulating so many dust mites. So wherever possible, actually eliminating as much fabric as possible, or at least kind of doing an allergy vacuum or getting them dry cleaned every couple of months so that you are getting rid of those dust mites, even in the mattress. Something like stuffed toys. If your child is not that attached to them, it's better to just keep them away. If they are, maybe the best practice would be to put them in the washer every couple of weeks and maybe just take out one at a time so that the child is not using the same stuffed toy that's been lying out, collecting dust, cushions. Something that we all like doing nowadays is scented candles, fragrances, agarbatti. I would with my son, we would do the agarbatti every morning, and it was like such a special practice. Even if you get the organic ones, but something that we don't realize is that it is a trigger and it aggravates a lot of these issues in kids. So there's so many things like this, like doctor said, using a humidifier in the winter months because it gets very dry. Similarly, maybe towards the end of summer and monsoon months, you might need a dehumidifier because the mold is what accumulates within the house, any kind of damp area. So that's where you actually need to keep the inside of your house also to a certain humidity level, which will not help aggravate again any kind of skin conditions, breathing conditions. And as much as atopic dermatitis is more common in kids, we see the same thing with breathing issues in children as well. So it all goes hand in hand. And I think as a mother and as parents, just knowing how we can at least do our bit to maybe help create a better environment for our children in a city where we live, where there's so much pollution and there are already so many other external factors that the children are exposed to that we were not exposed to growing up, I think is definitely very helpful. So thank you, doctor, for sharing your bits as well.
Yeah, no, thank you for that and sharing your personal experience as well. Because unfortunately, today as parents, we have a lot more to worry about because of the pollution, because of the toxins, because generally our kids are more sensitive. But it is important for us to take these steps to make sure that our kids are okay. And as a nutritionist, I'd love to give my little feedback on this as well, because of course there's external things we see, but there's also some internal factors. So I have noticed a lot of babies with eczema, it has to do a lot with what is happening inside their body. So for example, a lot of babies who have poor gut health or have inflammation, what happens is when they eat certain foods or even breast milk and formula, the body is not able to digest it, or they have poor gut lining, so it releases into the bloodstream and it actually shows up on their skin. So a lot of times eczema is related to something happening inside. So if any of you have a baby with eczema, I'll just give you a few foods you can incorporate in their diet, which will just help strengthen their gut, which is number one, bone broth, because it has collagen in it. Number two is a lot of fruits and veggies, because fruits and veggies have fiber, which will actually help promote the good bacteria, which will make the gut stronger. Try and avoid processed foods, which will feed the bad bacteria. And also consider a vitamin D supplement for your child if your baby is not taking that already. That just helps with their immune system and everything. And of course, a lot of fiber. We have oats as well, which both of you have mentioned. Having oats also, eating oats for babies has a lot of nutrients to help the baby heal a bit more.
Wow. I don't think that we can get a more comprehensive discussion on baby eczema. Everything from a dermatologist to a mom who has personally faced this and to a nutritionist to really heal that eczema inside out and outside in. Dr. Jaya, the next thing that I would love to ask you about is baby acne. I don't know when this shift happened in society, but somehow there are beauty standards that even our babies need to follow, right? Whether it comes to color or hair, and this new thing that parents are concerned about are baby acne. So sometimes they are like white spots that I saw it on my baby's skin. She had like white spots all over her nose and going down to her cheeks. I see to my nieces and nephews, they had red ones. Parents are posting remedies about like, hey, apply breast milk on baby acne and this on baby acne. So again, let's go back to the basics. What causes baby acne?
So like you said, there are now beauty standards for the baby. In fact, funnily enough, recently, like a few days ago, I had a friend of mine who's just delivered a baby girl calling up and saying, Jaya, she's got acne. What do I do? Well, actually, baby or neonatal acne is a very common condition. Almost 20% of infants suffer from it. And again, one of the biggest cause for it, like you said, there are white bumps on the cheek, the chin, the forehead. That's where you commonly see it. And again, one of the commonest cause for it is maternal hormones, which get transferred during our pregnancy to the baby. So which again leads to overproduction of the sebaceous glands, more oil production leading to acne. Again, this is a self-limiting condition. Within a few weeks, usually it subsides. For some, maybe the first 2 or 3 months. That's the maximum that will last. There's no treatment for baby acne. It will subside. You just need to be very gentle. The baby's skin is sensitive. Use lukewarm water to clean. Use a very lightweight moisturizer. No using any anti-acne, scrubbing, nothing. So it's actually a very simple condition and it treats itself.
That's
So,
reassuring. And
yeah.
what's your opinion on applying breast milk to treat baby acne? Does that help?
So breast milk has anti-inflammatory properties. So yes, it may prevent the inflammation. But again, like I said, whether it's the breast milk treating it or it's subsiding on its own, either way, both work. So you can apply a little breast milk. It has soothing properties. It prevents inflammation. So it may reduce the inflammation around it.
I would also like to add, like, when it comes to baby acne, we sometimes don't realize, like, the face, just like it is for all of us as well, is more sensitive than the rest of the body. It's also exposed to a lot more things, especially in newborns and small babies that are having milk and burping or starting solids. There's constant drooling, constant wiping. So there's a lot of exposure, and the skin is still very sensitive. It's very thin. It's still developing. Yes, so using a product which is specially formulated for the baby's face, since the skin is a lot more delicate, definitely would help in reducing these kind of reactions that the child may face. And we recently have launched a facial gel cream. So it's a gel-based moisturizer. It's very, very hydrating. It's non-greasy. You just need a very little bit. It goes a long way. The absorption is very good. So I think using something like that, which is specifically for, a sensitive area on the baby, would definitely help in at least eliminating issues that the child may face because of a lot of different kind of exposures.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. We have special creams for the diaper area because it has different requirements. Why not have a different cream for a child's face, because the skin is more sensitive? And if a child needs it, then I'm so glad that there are products like there in the market that parents can turn to. I think besides cosmetic reasons, we have no other reason to be worried about baby acne, right? Would that be painful for babies or something that can lead to marks or future skin issues if we sort of let them be?
So if it's just standalone neonatal baby acne, there's nothing to worry about. It's not going to scar. It's not uncomfortable for the child. But what may happen is that sometimes if there is infection, the babies tend to scratch their faces. So you keep the nails trimmed to prevent any infection. But if there's infection, if the baby acne just doesn't look like acne, there's oozing, the baby is getting irritated, then yes, it may not just be neonatal acne. Then we intervene, we see what the real cause is, and then treat accordingly.
All right.
So if it's just acne, there's nothing to worry about.
That's good to know. I think it's just very reassuring for parents, like what's considered normal, what's not. I think in the same line of discussion, people are always concerned about baby hair as well. Like babies are born with a lot of hair, and then there is this thing that Indian parents really want to get rid of that hair as fast as possible, because the myth is if you let that hair be, let's say your girl child will grow up to be really hairy. And my mom asked me to do it. She asked me to remove the baby hair using, a ball of atta. What do you, as a dermatologist, would you recommend that, to remove the baby hair?
No, we don't normally recommend. That's not a recommendation. Also, again, that hair, the excess hair does shed off over a period of time, whether you use a ball of atta or you don't. That being said, it might not be very comfortable for a child, and that friction itself may create inflammation leading to eczemas and other issues. So it's a very avoidable. And what leads to excessive hair growth in adolescence is the hormones and genetics. That's not something that we need to worry about at all.
So now let's move to talk a little bit about newborn bathing and moisturizing. So this has been a long time for me. My kids are 6 now, but I see so many questions about when should the baby take the first bath. So Dr. Jaya, please clarify this, because I know hospitals are saying something, then the in-laws are saying something else. When is it actually safe for your baby to take a first bath?
I'll just make it really simple for you guys, so that, the first 24 to even 48 hours, we avoid bathing a baby, because they have this covering called the vernix, which actually regulates their body temperature. It protects the skin barrier, and, it naturally just gets absorbed. So we don't bathe the baby in the first few hours. Going ahead, again, you have the umbilical cord. It takes 1 or 2 weeks for that to drop off. Until then, if you need to give a baby a bath, we recommend sponging. And usually we start with the face and neck, because, you want to, again, very gently, with just a lukewarm water, to clean out the excessive spit outs, the drooling, the breast milk that's around the baby's mouth, the face and neck. Again, we advise keeping their hands and feet clean because that's something they keep repeatedly putting in their mouth, touch things, they put it in their mouth. So we want that clean. And of course, the diaper area because we want that to be nice and dry. But once the umbilical cord has fallen off, then we do the immersion baths or the tub baths. Again, with lukewarm water, we fill it up 2 or 3 inches, just gentle bathing, not for too long, 5 to 10 minutes. So till the umbilical cord hasn't fallen off, we don't advise an immersion bath. It's only sponging the baby clean once a day. So the baby's skin is sensitive. We don't want to strip it off its natural oils. We want the vernix to be protective, regulate their body temperature. So we don't have to rush into bathing a child or a baby, a newborn baby. So it has its stages. And once the umbilical cord is fallen off, again, you can do the immersion bath, which is the tub bath. And again, using gentle cleansing gels, lotions, and moisturizing. So yeah, keep it simple. It doesn't need to be an everyday thing. Just twice or thrice a week is good enough. The tub baths. Of course, daily wiping the mouth, the sponging the mouth and neck, the face and neck, the hands, the diaper area. Yes, definitely we will sponge, but the initial few weeks, just twice or thrice a week is good enough.
Because I know all of us, we've all done the whole massage, bath routine, like they say in the beginning, that's super important. So you're saying that it's not necessary, because I know now we've clarified in a lot of our earlier podcasts that this whole massage thing is more for hydration, not for like to get them to have strong bones. So we know that now. But you're saying that we don't need to make it a daily ritual in the first few weeks.
No, in the first few weeks, the first month or the first 3 months, maybe not. The first 3 months, the baby is usually at home and we don't want to dry their skin out. Like we've been speaking about hydration, atopic dermatitis, the rash that they are prone to. So just preventing this is again preventing all of it.
You guys have shared that there's all these traditions that are there in India. When you have a newborn for the first few months, the entire house, all the family members, the whole day revolves around that morning routine of the child. The child has to, the jhapa is there. You have to get the massage done. They have to take a bath. They need to do this, that. But actually, we may not realize that we're doing more harm than good. So I think understanding this from the beginning would be so much better for the child. And of course, as they start moving, they're crawling, they're getting dirty, then that's when they actually need us to be cleaning them more often.
An alternate perspective on the bathing as a sleep consultant, once they are beyond that absolute newborn stage, let's say once they're beyond that 1 month mark, bathing is not just about cleaning, but it's also a relaxing ritual for a lot of babies. So I know in India, a lot of families like to do bathing in the morning, but as a consultant, I tell them, why don't we try bathing in the evening? Because didn't all our moms tell us that like once I used to give you a massage and then I used to give you a bath, you used to have a really good sleep at night? And I'm like, yes, so then why not we harness the power of the massage and the bath to get that good sleep? Like, instead of the daytime, that the great nap that we used to have, let's harness that power and get that great sleep at nighttime. One thing parents can consider is maybe not doing a soap bath every day, because soap is definitely something that even if you use the most gentle possible soap, it can still dry out the skin a bit more. But just as a part of a relaxing ritual in the evening, as a part of their bedtime routine, they can offer a bath. Sometimes it's just water and sometimes it's with soap. And then once they get their child into that ritual, even when the child has grown older, then they can offer a soap bath every day. Just at the end of the day, they have been crawling, running, doing all of those things, eating solids and getting all messy. So they get themselves cleaned up before they get into bed. So I think from that perspective, daily baths might actually work, but you don't have to give a soap bath every single day. Sometimes it can just be a water-only bath.
Yeah. No, so like you just said, the whole oil massage, bathing routine is a bonding exercise. And oil massages, in fact, it's not all bad. It's great for blood circulation. It relaxes the baby at the end of the day. And it's a nice bonding exercise between the mother and the baby. And then the bath in the evening just helps them also sleep better. So yeah, you can definitely bathe the kid at night without the soap. That works perfectly well. And just moisturize post it. And you're good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think when it comes to the bathing routine, one thing that parents face a lot of overwhelm in is choosing the right products. Okay. I am an Aveeno mama, but that was not the first place I ended up. Like, I'm somebody who buys like 6 different things and tries it all. But I don't think everybody would want to go down that path and do what I did to find the right product for them. So Dr. Jaya, in general, can you offer some guidelines in terms of what are something that we should look for in baby products? And what are some things that we should avoid in baby products that we're using for bathing and moisturizing our kids?
So I think what we generally have to look for is the term hypoallergenic. That's the first thing that we look for. We look for formulations which have no preservatives, no sulfates, because sulfates again tend to dry out the skin. pH balance. So the natural pH of a baby skin is around 5, 5.5. So you want to stick to that. So again, you're not drying or stripping their natural oils. Again, using cleansers which have oatmeal, ceramides, which are trapping in the moisture, or plant-based soaps, which are gentler on their skin. So tear-free formula, because you're very worried. Most new moms are worried about how the soap may affect. You don't want the child to try. These few things, and I think we're all very careful about the parabens, the preservatives, because these are things that can trigger skin inflammatory responses.
I think the key is to actually turn the bottle around and look at the ingredients.
Correct,
Don't just
yeah.
go by the branding and the flashiness of the product. Go by the actual ingredients. What is it that they're putting inside? Because it has a direct impact on how your child's skin turns out to be, and if it can cause or resolve any conditions.
Yeah, so like doctor said, I think natural ingredients, the less complicated it is, no chemicals, no fragrances, so all these things, of course, will be very harsh on a baby skin, which is still very, very sensitive. So looking at the back of the pack is definitely very crucial at a time when you would go to a supermarket and you would see so many options out there. Definitely looking for products that are dermatologist recommended, because there's a lot of science behind the product, natural ingredients. So, like the oats that is in our entire product range is, we maybe don't even realize, because we always, as moms especially, we, think of oat pancakes, oat porridge, oat waffles. So that's where we get introduced, at least I was introduced to oats. But it has so many soothing properties. It's very gentle on the skin. It protects the skin without making it any kind of harsh reactions. After a bath, it also soothes any kind of itchiness, redness, rashes. So there's a lot of, like healthy soothing properties that it has for skin specifically. And since baby skin is so delicate, so sensitive, it's always a good option to opt for when you're looking for skincare products.
Amazing, amazing. So much great information for new parents to actually discern and find the right products for their little ones.
I just add here, one thing one of the moms told me recently is that something that I like about these baby products is that they don't have so much fragrance. So my baby that's a newborn, after a bath, I can actually still smell her. I'm not smelling some kind of perfume. And I love that. I want to smell my baby for as long as I can, because eventually their smell changes. So like that's so nice. And that's such a wonderful thought as a mom. Like that's so sweet.
Yep. Like, I wish they would just make a baby, like a perfume that would capture the scent of a baby. I would buy that right off the shelf. Oh, this is a baby perfume because it smells like a baby. Like, give that to me.
Talking about hydration, a lot of us have used oils for our babies, whether it's from the massage to even post bath or during the bath. So could you clarify for us, what are the best oils to use for our kids, and when should we use it? I know there's different seasons as well.
So oil massage is not mandatory, but it's a great bonding exercise, and it's more for relaxation. It's more for in babies because of colic. It helps relieve digestion. So it's again gentle circular motions, nothing very aggressive or harsh. And the kinds of oils that we use have to be gentle. Usually coconut oil is a safe bet, or even almond, because it's rich in vitamin E. During the winter months, mustard works really well, but that needs to be slightly diluted, and it's pretty hydrating. Usually post the oil massage, we do recommend that you bathe the child, remove the excess oil, and give them a gentle lukewarm bath. Olive oil is something that is sometimes avoidable, especially when your child has dry skin, because it can aggravate dryness. There are also a lot of mineral oils which are available, which are gentle on the baby skin. So again, lightweight mineral oils also work well. So usually a lightweight oil works better than a heavier oil, unless you're in the middle of dry, terrible winter, because it doesn't block your glands.
Brands coming out there that are making the oils very fancy, like they're this mix of it. And so what you're saying is keep it simple, use natural oils. And also, as you were talking, I was thinking that actually using too much oil sometimes can also cause a lot of these skin issues. Would that happen? because it can block their glands, right?
Correct. If certain oils can react, so if your kids have eczema, it can increase it because, it can have an irritant effect instead of soothing it. So again, there are different oils, different fragrances. I mean, as adults, we may react to different oils when we get our body massages done. So babies are even more prone to it.
Thank you, Dr. Jaya. There are so many questions basically we have answered today that new parents are always thinking about. So Dr. Jaya, if you could leave us with one golden nugget about something that parents should follow to keep their child's skin healthy, what would that be?
So less is always more. When it comes to your newborn, keep things very, very simple. Just keep the basics right. Just lightweight moisturizers, hydrate the baby. Don't overdo anything. So if you do everything in the right quantities and the right amounts, the baby is good. So just short baths, nice lightweight moisturizing, and I think the baby will usually be happy. Unless you have a concern that you need to treat, nothing needs to be treated.
Thank you, Dr. Jaya and Arshiya, for joining us on the podcast. And for all of you listening and watching in, do like and subscribe for more parenting content on the Modern Indian Parent Podcast.
And if you're interested to find out more about how to take care of your child's sensitive skin, then head over to the Aveeno Baby India YouTube channel, where they have done a series of episodes with Dr. Jaya talking all about how to take care of your child's sensitive skin. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having us. This was great. Thank you.
Bye.